Hello fellow teachers, I am teacher Nora. In this video, I am going to share my study notebook in LDM2 Module 2. The content of this video are based on my interpretation, insights, and reflections of the course. If you want to share your own insights, please feel free to comment down. Thank you. Now, let's get started. My study notebook, LDM2 course for teachers, Module 2, Most Essential Learning Competencies or MELCs. Lesson 1, Background, Rationale, and Development of MELCs. Activity 1, answer the following reflective questions in your study notebook. Question number 1, the closure of schools around the world due to the global pandemic posed serious challenges on the delivery of quality basic education. As a teacher, what do you think are the fundamental concerns in terms of curriculum standards that need to be addressed in order to ensure learning continuity? Cite a specific example. Do you think these concerns could be solved by teachers alone? Why or why not? Answer. The fundamental concerns in terms of curriculum standards are, first, the curriculum standards are congested or overlapping. Second, how can the competencies be achieved since there is no face-to-face learning? In order to achieve or meet the curriculum standards during this pandemic, it must be decongested. For example, in English subject, the bulks of competencies are unattainable for learners because they have to learn at their own pace without direct instruction from their teachers. These concerns could not be solved by the teachers alone. Collaboration and cooperation from the parents and other stakeholders are needed. Activity 1, number 2, even prior to the spread of COVID-19 that eventually led to the closure of schools nationwide, the congested curriculum has been a perennial problem of teachers. This is perceived to be one of the hindering factors on the poor performance of Filipino learners. Do you agree with this observation? Why or why not? Answer. I strongly agree that congested curriculum has been the main concern of teachers. There is no mastery of the skills among learners because of so many competencies to work on. Lack of focus to the essential skills causes confusion and misunderstanding. Activity 2. Familiarize yourself with the course reading on the development and design of the MELCs. After going through the document, provide a brief and concise response to the following guide questions. Write your answers in your study notebook. Question number 1. What are the general and specific purposes of the development of MELCs? Answer. The release of the MELCs is not just a response to addressing the challenges of the current pandemic, but it is also part of the department's long-term response to the call of SDG 4 to develop resilient education systems, most especially during emergencies. They serve as one of the guides for teachers as they address the instructional needs of learners while ensuring that curriculum standards are maintained and achieved. The MELCs intend to assist schools in navigating the limited number of school days as they employ multiple delivery schemes by providing them ample instructional space. Number 2, how does curriculum review aid in the identification of essential learning competencies? Answer. The curriculum review provides the identification of gaps, issues, and concerns across learning areas and grade levels. It helps the curriculum planners to identify the areas of improvement that would enhance the learning experience, engagement, and outcomes, and develop possible solutions for these concerns. Number 3, what is the difference between essential learning competencies and desirable learning competencies? Answer: essential learning competencies were defined as what the students need, considered is indispensable in the teaching learning process to build skills to equip learners for subsequent grade levels and consequently for lifelong learning. On the other hand, desirable learning competencies were defined as what may enhance education but may not be necessary in building foundational skills. Number 4, how were the most essential learning competencies identified? What were the decisions made in order to trim down the number of the essential learning competencies further? Answer: the primary criteria for MELC selection is if it is enduring. A learning competency is considered enduring if it remains with learners long after a test or unit of study is completed, or if it is useful beyond a single test or unit of study. The department then identified the MELCs across all learning areas through the application of these understandings. The decisions made in order to trim down the number of the essential learning competencies were retained, merged, dropped, or rephrased. Number 5. What is the importance of MELCs in ensuring the delivery of quality instruction? Answer: MELCs serves as a guide for teachers in delivering quality instructions to learners. Without it, there will be confusion as to what needs to be taught and achieved. Activity 3. Prepare a copy of your learning area's original K-12 curriculum guide and a corresponding list of MELCs. Go to the sections of the curriculum guide and MELCs that are relevant to your instructional needs. Copy and accomplish the following table in your study notebook and compare the two documents to determine which learning competencies were retained, dropped, or merged. This is the example: merge clustered, construct simple sentences from K to 12 learning competencies, and draw and write sentences about one's drawing. The MELCs, from the MELCs, describe one's drawing about the stories, poems listened to using simple and compound sentences. Retained, from the K-12 learning competencies, use common and proper nouns in a sentence. From the MELCs, use common and proper nouns in a sentence. From the K-12 learning competencies, use plural form of regular nouns by adding s or es. From the MELCs, use plural form of regular nouns by adding s or es. Dropped, from the K-12 learning competencies, differentiate real from make-believed. Activity 4. In your last session, discuss and share your answers to activities 1 to 3 in this lesson. Discuss any questions about the MELCs that need clarification as well. Share your thoughts and let your co-teachers articulate their insights regarding your questions. Jot down all the insights shared in the discussion, including your own, in your study notebook. Good job! You are now done with Lesson 1. Let's proceed to Lesson 2 to learn how to unpack and combine the MELCs into learning objectives. Lesson 2, Unpacking and Combining MELCs into Learning Objectives. Activity 1. Familiarize yourself with the course reading on unpacking and combining the MELCs. After reading the document, provide a brief and concise response to the following guide questions in your study notebook. 1. What is the importance of unpacking and combining the MELCs? Answer: The unpacking and combining the MELCs provide instructional space among field partners, implementers, to deliver quality instruction amidst the limited learning modalities and shortening of the school year. It allows teachers to systematize activities and effectively address the varying needs of learners and the challenges of instructional deliveries. Number 2, what considerations must be taken in unpacking and combining the MELCs? Explain each. Answers. In unpacking MELCs, we need to consider three things. 1. Alignment on the content and performance standards. The unpacking and combining of MELCs should be parallel to the K-12 content and performance standards. Number 2, prerequisite knowledge and skills. Focus on the target skills, then identify the prerequisite knowledge and skills that would enable the achievement of MELCs, then the content and performance standards. Number 3, logical sequence of learning objectives. It should follow logical sequence to provide systematic learning experience for learners. In combining MELCs, we need to consider this. 1. Commonality of content, topic, or theme. If there are common content or topics, it can be merged or combined to ensure that essential topic or content will not be reduced. 2. Alignment with the content and performance standards. Combining two or more competencies should aid in the achievement of the content and performance standards. Number 3, do all MELCs need to be unpacked or combined? Why or why not? Answer. There is no need to unpack or combine all the MELCs. We can only consider unpacking if prerequisite skills are necessary for the attainment of the MELCs. Also, we need to combine or merge the MELC if we see competencies having the same content or topics. Activity 2. Form a group of 4 members within your LAC, preferably with your fellow teachers in your respective learning area. Using the curriculum guide and a list of the MELCs, choose MELCs in the first quarter and unpack this into learning objectives. Each team will present their unpacked learning objectives. Discussion and processing will follow each presentation. Suggestions and insights from each group will be considered in enhancing the learning objectives. This is the example from MELCs and sample learning objective, example of unpacking the MELCs. From the MELCs, describe one's drawing about the stories, poems listened to using simple and compound sentences. Sample learning objectives, distinguish sentence from non-sentences. Construct simple sentences. Construct compound sentences. From the MELCs, write a short descriptive paragraph about a character or setting in a stories listened to. Sample learning objectives, note details regarding the character, setting, and plot. Write a short descriptive paragraph. From the MELCs, write a short paragraph providing another ending for a story listened to. Sample learning objectives, write a short paragraph, write another ending for a story, draw conclusions. From the MELCs, use different kinds of sentences in a dialogue. From the sample learning objectives are distinguish sentence from non-sentences, construct simple sentences. Activity 2, form a group of 4 members within your LAC, preferably with fellow teachers in your respective learning area. Using the curriculum guide and a list of the MELCs, choose MELCs in the first quarter and combine this into learning objectives. Each time, we'll present their unpacked learning objectives. Discussion and processing will follow each presentation. Suggestions and insights from each group will be considered in enhancing the learning objectives. This is the example from the MELCs and sample learning objectives. From the MELCs, use the plural form of regular nouns by adding s or es, and use plural form of frequently occurring irregular nouns. Sample learning objectives are use the plural form of nouns. From the MELCs, write a short paragraph providing another ending for a story listened to. Write a short descriptive paragraph about a character or setting in stories listened to. Sample learning objectives. Write a short paragraph. Activity 3. Submit your Activity 2 outputs to your LAC leader. Make sure to keep a copy of your outputs. Congratulations! You have completed Module 2. You are now ready for Module 3A, Designing Instruction in the Different Learning Delivery Modalities. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.